Okay, good afternoon, Barry.
Good afternoon.
All right. Last week we had situations where we were dealing with meeting traffic,
Yeah.
and we had lots of parked cars. Can you recall we talked about driving too close to parked cars?
Yes, I can remember that.
Yeah, can you tell me what happened?
I think it was just a couple of times I drifted a bit too near without realising.
Excellent, yeah. And also there was a couple of times where you started to drive a little bit close to the vehicles in front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We briefly touched on it. Can you tell me what the risks were if you were driving too close to the car in front?
I think, yeah, if they stop, then you got that chance of running into them.
Good. And because of that, you said you wanted to discuss that and go through that today. Would you still be happy to do that today?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So that's talking a little bit about clearance to vehicles, etc. So let's just run through that. If we look at this diagram here, in an ideal world, if you were going past a parked car, what sort of distance should you give in an ideal world?
I think, is it a metre?
It's a metre, yeah, so that probably be about a width of a door.
Yeah.
So what's the reasons for that?
I think it's keeping it safe for if they open their door.
Yeah, door could open, couldn't it? Yeah, but also if someone steps out between parked cars,
Oh, yeah.
then it's a safe distance to be. Yeah. So in an ideal world, looking at that diagram, can you see it's quite safe to do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've got a situation like this, diagram B here, can you see you can't give a door width?
Oh, because there isn't enough room.
Yeah, there is enough room to go through, but there isn't enough to give the door width at the same time. So a door could open, couldn't it? Or someone could step out. How might you deal with that, do you think?
Perhaps go a little more slowly.
Good. Okay, so if you've slowed it down, so if a door opened or someone stepped out, could you still stop?
I think you'd have more time to stop.
Excellent. So that's what we call less space, less speed.
Right, okay.
So that's clearance to the sides. You also need to consider cyclists. So if there's a cyclist in front of you and you need to go around him, what sort of clearance might you give there?
Is that about a metre again?
Yeah, I mean, if you can try and give a bit more, maybe a couple of door widths away from cyclists, because they're going all over the place. They might be avoiding potholes, etc. Yeah.
Right.
So more if possible, but minimum door width. Yeah. Okay. We also need to consider clearance to the front, which we discussed briefly earlier on. So if we look at this diagram here, so in an ideal world, if we look at this diagram here, stopping distances at 20 miles an hour, can you see your overall stopping distance is 12 meters?
Right, okay.
So if you're traveling at 20 miles an hour, then you should have roughly 12 meters, which equates to, if we look down here, roughly about three car lengths. Yeah. Okay. So if the car in front suddenly stops, you've got safe stopping distance. You're not going to run into him. Yeah.
Right.
30 miles an hour, 23 meters, which equates to about 5-6 car lengths. Yeah. Again, for the same reason. Now, I asked you to do a bit of homework last week about reading up on the 2-second rule. Did you get a chance to do that?
I did. I had a look through it, yeah.
Good. Okay, and I asked you to reflect on it. So can you tell me what you read up on it on the internet and what you looked at?
Well, it's so no matter how fast you're going, if you're leaving the 2 seconds, it's still more of a safe gap.
Good, excellent, yeah. So can you did you discuss or did you research at what speed it applies at?
Oh yeah, I think I saw it. Is it if you're going more than 40 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's roughly anything above 30 and 40 miles an hour. That's when it works best.
Yeah.
If you try it at the slower speed, you're actually ending up giving more space than you need to.
Right.
So it works better at the faster speeds, 30 above. Yeah.
Okay.
But how do you use it?
It was picking something on the road.
Yeah.
Like that bus stop there.
Excellent.
And then you have to make sure that when the car in front goes past,
Excellent.
you don't want to pass it within the 2 seconds.
Excellent. But how do you judge that 2 seconds?
Was that saying, wasn't there, that you told me? Is
Yeah.
it the only a fool breaks the 2 second
Brilliant.
rule?
Brilliant. Okay, so that's what you do. So you've done that quite well. Good bit of homework
Good,
there.
thanks.
Well done there. Okay, so that's clearance to the sides, clearance to the front as well. Also, if you're in stationary traffic, what have we said about keeping distance from the vehicle in front?
Oh, so you mean when you're stopping behind them?
Yeah, can you remember?
Yeah, it was looking down and seeing their tyres just touching the road, tyres
Yeah,
and
and a bit.
tarmac.
Excellent, well done. And what was the reasons for that?
It's if they might roll backwards and bumping into us.
Excellent, good. Okay, remember that well, so well done there. Okay, so we'll go and put that into practice then. Yeah?
Okay, right.
Okay.